What's up? It's Wednesday, which means new video. I couldn't finish the episode of Creative Spaces TV that I wanted out today, so that will be next week. And since it's Wednesday, I'm posting a new video no matter what, and I figured I haven't done a Q&A in a while. Let's get to know each other. We're gaining new subscribers every day here on this channel, so there's new people. And let's dive into some questions. Maybe you'll learn something about me that you didn't know, and we can chat about it and talk about it. And yeah, if you haven't watched the previous vlog, you can click here. I throw a smashing party on the Upper East Side. And then the previous episode of Creative Spaces TV, I highlight a amazing, talented New York City street artist. You can always also watch that here. So let's go. Let's go to Snapchat. I asked you to ask me questions. Not exactly the questions I'm looking for.
So who was the first YouTuber that you ever just fell in love with their channel?
Grace Helbig. She is the first YouTuber that I ever watched on a consistent basis.
Hey Sarah, I had a quick question. What made you decide to drop out of college, and what year were you in when you dropped out?
I am a college dropout. I went to school at University of Texas at Arlington, and I started college in 2012, and I dropped out kind of recently, December 2015. I pursued an electrical engineering degree. Turned out I hated that, and then I went to computer science. I was trying to do the responsible thing and go for a smart person degree. So I was 3.5 years in and I dropped out. I had about a year and a half left. Changing majors kind of put me behind, and I was at a point where I did my final semester at Belmont in Nashville because I had just moved to Nashville. And by the time I moved to Nashville, I was kind of done with school anyways, and so that final semester was kind of the nail in the coffin. And I realized, oh wow, I hate college. I hate it so much. I hate what I'm studying. And by that time, my side hustle of making videos and doing photo content, social media, had really taken over my life and been something that I could actively pursue as a career. And I knew from the get-go that I wasn't gonna be able to make YouTube my career. But I said, hey, if I'm 21 and I'm already living for my plan B, what is the point of life? And so I was in a position where I could leave college and be debt-free. I had a scholarship back in Texas, and the semester of school at Belmont at Nashville kind of drained my savings in one semester. So I was at a point, I either go into debt for something I hate, or I just drop out kind of with a clean slate and pursue my passions with photo and video, and it's worked out. So that was December 2015 when I dropped out.
And I want to ask you, at what age did you move out from home? And what was that like for you?
When I started college in 2012, I went to a college in Texas. It was only 30 minutes away from my house, where I lived with my parents. And so the 3 years of college that I pursued in Texas, I stayed at home. One, I was working a lot, but two, I also had a scholarship to go to this school because I tried really hard in high school. I graduated my top 10%, got a good ACT score. And so because I was working a lot, but I was still living at my parents' house, I was able to put every penny of what I earned into what I was passionate about, so travel and photo video gear. And so when I moved out, that was when I moved to Nashville. I moved to Nashville a little bit over a year ago, and when I did that, that was the first time that I was living alone. I did have a roommate. It was fun and it was different, and it was good to get out of the house because I was 21 years old, and it was about time to move out. But that started this journey of, holy cow, there's so much out there besides Texas. I love Texas, love you guys, but once I moved to Nashville, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. I really love this. And then I found New York City, and then I moved to New York City, and so it was crazy. But I'm so thankful for those 3 years after high school staying at my home, because I really learned a lot about myself during that time.
What's the one tourist thing in New York City that you haven't done yet but you really secretly want to do?
I live in New York City, and I've visited New York City many times before, but I have never been in New York when it's snowing. So I am dying just to do the fun skating ring thing in parks and enjoy the snow and just live that winter New York life. And I know it's gonna be miserable after a week, but I'm just stoked to be in New York while it's all white and pretty.
Do you know how to speak Spanish? ¿Sabes hablar español?
I do not know how to speak a second language. I wish I could. I had 3 years of Spanish in high school. I know how to conjugate a verb like tener. A couple years ago, I went to Nicaragua. I had a chance to go there and film a video for the church I was working at the time. And that was such a cool experience because I was like super immersed in the culture there. And these people literally did not know how to speak English. And so it was such a cool experience because it was a lot of pointing at things and then saying it in Spanish and English, and then we would like trade off and try to say it. And we would have conversations like that. I left that trip wanting to know Spanish so bad.
I was actually wondering and asking myself, how can I be successful like Sara Dietschy? So can you answer that, please?
Well, thank you. Something that people talk about a lot that I'm a true believer in is when you find something you love, you're truly going to, you have a better chance of being more successful at it. And that's cool and all, but I think the bigger conversation lies in, okay, well, how do you find what you love? How do you find what you're passionate about? And honestly, I'm lucky enough to find something that I just absolutely adore at such a young age. But how did I do that? That came out of just being so freaking curious about life. When I was in high school, in college, you know, I wasn't the most social person in regards to just society. I wasn't like going to all the parties in high school and hanging out with friends. I worked a ton. I mean, a ton. I was traveling a lot. Because I worked, I had money to spend on travel and gear, and so I was very involved in music at a time, and so I was pursuing that hardcore in work and in just life experiences. You know, we were playing in clubs, playing shows, and then it turned to travel and it turned to photo video stuff, and I was doing everything I could in my power to work and gain experience. And so the more you do, the more opportunities you have to, one, learn from people, but two, to really figure out, oh, I don't like this thing, let me try this thing. And so when you're adjusting, you're constantly doing things at a young age, you come out of high school, you come out of college, and really have a better self-awareness of what you like to do. But you know, your success might not look like all about that hustle life and working 24/7 and starting a startup or doing that entrepreneurial life. It might mean that you have time off on the weekends and you get to go home at 5 o'clock and spend time with your family and watch Netflix. Like, that might be your success and your happiness. And so it really is just know thyself, know what you're gonna be happy with and what is success to you. You really have to ask that question. And I know for me, I just have something inside of me that's just constantly like, I just have this hunger for just doing what I love to do, and I pursue that hardcore, and I have those goals in my head, and I know what success looks like for me and what happiness looks like for me, and I try everything in my power to pursue that. So it's kind of just, yeah, know thyself.
When's the next time you're going to be in Nashville? Because I'm totally moving to Louisville, and that's only 3 hours away, and I'm definitely coming to whatever meetup you're going to.
I'm going to Nashville next week for a conference called Story Gathering, which I'm so excited for. The two keynote speakers are Jeremy Cowart and Casey Neistat. Two friends. Yeah.
Hi Sarah, love your videos. I was wondering, in relation to your own experience with college, if you had any advice for me as a senior in high school in making a decision for college.
Oh, yes. Okay, so that is such a big question. For any of you high schoolers out there who have the enormous responsibility of deciding your next steps in life regarding college, you know, do I go to an out-of-state college, an in-state college, do I even go to college, do I go to a trade school, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm just gonna be real and raw with you guys, and something that a lot of people don't just come out and talk about is the money side of college. Know your own situation. How much can you afford? Going to an out-of-state college is so expensive. So say the college you go to is 30 grand a year plus room and board, so you're paying about 40 grand a year. Do the math. 40 grand times 4, let me do the math, $160,000 for that college tuition. Whew. Is that math right? 8? Yeah, 16. If you have the money, if your parents have the money, if it's no problem at all, go for it. But the majority of you guys, I was in a situation where I didn't have all this money stacked up into savings. So I made the decision to go to an in-state school where I had a scholarship, and so it really wasn't that big of an issue. When you're a senior in high school, you get so wrapped up with the festivities of college and the woo football and sports ball and fraternities and sororities, but you do not realize that you do not want to graduate college with this burden of debt. It's not fun to talk about this stuff, and hopefully me, a 22-year-old who has been through it, maybe you'll listen to me rather than hear your parents talking about it. Sharing from personal experience, like when you don't have debt, you have freedom. You have freedom to live your life the way you want to live it. For some of you guys, maybe scholarships and things like that are out of the question, and regardless, you're gonna have to go into a little bit of debt. But there's no shame in going to community college for 2 years and then going to the state school that you want to go to. There's no shame of maybe choosing some like alternative path of maybe you get an internship for a year, see where that leads you, and then check out schools maybe after that. I don't want to get too preachy about this, but my advice for you lovely high schoolers or anyone who is thinking about college is just do not overshadow that part of school for being cool or to go to the cool school.
Here's a question. If I were to ask you to my school's homecoming, would you go with me?
Well, that's a first one. I am honored that you would ask me to your homecoming, but you know, I don't know how I would get there, but I'm honored, so thank you. I hope you have a fabulous homecoming. I really do. I really do. Well, that is all we have for the Q&A. This is a good Q&A. You guys ask good questions and heavy questions too. Hopefully you feel closer to me, more connected. We learn more about each other. If you have any other questions regarding the topics we talked about, I'll definitely be creeping down in the comment sections below. So feel free to ask me another question around these topics or to comment. Maybe you have a different opinion on something we talked about or a insightful insight about it. So make sure to leave some stuff in the comments and I'll creep and I'll comment back on some of you guys. Make sure to check out my recent vlog and Creative Space TV episode if you have not yet. I will see you guys Friday for another vlog. Just have a great day and thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Let me know if you like this. Bye guys. Oh, I didn't say my outro. Stay peachy. Okay, bye. So that's what tonight is, and it was fantastic.
Jonathan, what were you doing with the poor server guy?
I mean, honestly, I just had to get him on the staff.